Right on time. Who's going to be my first reader, nice and loud? Hartley, go ahead.
You're doing it all wrong, Ryan. You're not Shadow Tom. I'm the best jumper there ever was. Then how come you can't touch the door frame? It's hard, okay?
New reader. Asher.
Tom stood on the concrete, rubbing his shoulders and looking straight up. The doorway to the lunchroom was 10 feet high. At least nobody his age could jump high enough to touch it. Older kids tried every day. Nobody ever came close, but Ryan had dared Tom that he couldn't do it, and so Tom had to try.
I'll read for this thing of line. He muttered under his breath, "I'm the best jumper there ever was." Next reader, Savannah.
It had started the year before at recess. A frisbee was stuck in a tree. Nobody could jump high enough to get it, and nobody could climb the tree to get it. Nobody could throw anything that would knock it down, and so Tom had stood way back from the tree. He got a running start, and when he was going fast enough as he could, he leapt. It was like he was in the air forever, and then he felt the frisbee in his hand.
New reader. Lily.
From that day on, when there was a problem that could be solved by jumping, they called Tom.
Pause, Lily. Make sure you're highlighting things we think are important. I know we're just listening right now. If you see something you like, highlight it. Details are very important during this. So make sure your highlighter is ready to go, or your pencil is ready to go, and you are underlining things. Keep reading, Lily.
Everybody loved their jumping champion, except for Ryan. Before Tom had come around, Ryan had been the best jumper in the class. He could jump over hurdles. He could jump down the stairs.
New reader. Easton. He could jump all sorts of places. That's where you start.
You could jump all sorts of places, but never quite as high as Tom. Ever since the day Tom had rescued the frisbee, Ryan had been out for revenge. Now he was going to get it.
I'll read. "Come on," he taunted. "You can't jump just a little bit higher? I thought you were the best jumper there ever was." New reader. We get the same one. Harley, you've not gone yet. Go ahead. Right, have you gone, Harley?
Yeah.
You did? Got a new volunteer who has not raised his hand yet, or I might call on someone randomly. Nate, go ahead.
Where did we see?
Starting on Tom gritted his teeth on the bottom.
Tom gritted his teeth. He tensed his legs. He threw his body up into the air, and he still fell short by at least 2 feet. You didn't want to say it. You didn't say it was impossible, but it's impossible, he said.
Right. Ha! I knew it. Unless we work together. Excuse me? Neither of us can jump high enough to touch it alone. But if we work together, Tom explained his plan. A few minutes later, Tom knelt on the ground. He laced his fingers together and held Ryan's foot in his hands. 1, 2, 3, shouted Tom. On 3, Ryan put all his weight on Tom's hands, and Tom threw him up into the air. Ryan's hands smashed into the door frame, and he fell down laughing. "We did it," he said. "Now it's my turn," said Tom. Together they were the best jumpers there ever were. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the actions and our emotions from this story, and we're going to determine the theme of it. The best part about a theme and a main idea, this does not have to be a lot of words. A theme can be one single word if you identify it correctly. Do you understand what I mean when I say that?
Yeah.
So if it's like a buddy story where 2 people are going off and doing things together and they learn this really good lesson at the end that being with your friends is awesome, you could say that theme was friendship.
Or working together.
Working together. Not being greedy. Being safe in the hallways and not throwing your friend at the ceiling. All good ideas. But do you see how we go from just one word to multiple words? When you identify it, if you identify it correctly and you back up your details to support it, you can always use just that one word if you think so. So when we retell the main events of the story, what's that called? I know Nate knows it, but he's not raising his hand.
What?
I know Hartley knows it. Eric, do you know when we retell the events of a story?
Oh, a summary.
Good job, Eric. That is, yes, a summary.
I wasn't paying attention.
I'm actually going to skip over that part because we were practicing summaries for the second half of what we're doing. We know what happened, right? 2 friends were in the hallway. They wanted to touch the ceiling. One said he was the best jumper. They worked together to get it done. So we're going to talk about our characters' emotions. In the beginning of the story, our main character, who I'm probably going to say, which one, Tom or Ryan? What do we think? What was suggestion? Tom? Okay. So in the beginning of the story, I'm going to write Tom.
I'm going to say Tom and Ryan.
What did Tom want to do at the beginning of the story?
Jump high enough to touch the floor.
That's good, Ethan. Next time, raise your hand. Tom wanted to jump high enough to touch the door frame. Now there's going to be a second part to this, which I'm going to call what actually happened when he tried. So what was the second part to this? Did he do it or did he not do it? On his own, was he able to do it, Asher?
No.
No? On his own, he couldn't do it. All right. Now let's go to the end of the story. In the end of the story, did he do it, yes or no?
Yes.
Someone explain to me with a raised hand for an answer what you would want to write for this. Carson, go ahead.
Tom did do it, but just with a little bit of help.
Tom was able to do it with help from who?
Ryan.
Excellent. So we've identified two very important. Ryan is capitalized, by the way. I'm sure you don't forget. Names are capitalized. So now we can use what we have discovered to find the author's message. It's a very quick story, so it shouldn't be too hard to find the message in this one. I think Eli actually had a great suggestion. Eli, what was the first thing you told me when I asked you earlier? You said it, start with the W.
Working together.
That's a great one. Anyone else have a second one they want to give? That was a great one.
Teamwork.
Asher? Did he take yours?
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that. Do I have another one maybe? Harley? Friendship? Working together. All those work because we've identified details. Savannah, do you have something?
Not being selfish.
Not being selfish. So what you could write down, anything you want, but do we need proper sentences?
Yes.
I'm just going to write down friendship, or should I actually write down the theme of the story was friendship?
Yes.
And then why? Okay, so I do that. The theme of the story was friendship. This did not have to be a complicated word for the theme. This is very simple. Friendship is something you can easily identify in a lot of different places. What's important is when you're writing these out that you're using the proper sentence structure, right? Now, we know it's friendship. Can someone tell me why we thought the theme was friendship? Not the same volunteers for this one. I think Pete has got a good idea.
Because Ryan helped him touch the.
Because Ryan helped Tom to touch the door frame.
Yeah.
So let's do that. We know this because Ryan helped Tom touch the top of the door frame, which would also work for Eli's suggestion of working together. Tom helped Ryan, they're working together. All right, do we feel kind of comfortable now how we use these to identify themes and details? I mean, the themes, main ideas, do not have to be long, complicated, drawn-out answers. All they have to be is what you thought the story was about. We got working together, we got teamwork. I think what else did we have? Not being selfish. Probably could factor in there that we should be also being safe when throwing our friends towards the ceiling of a room. I mean, that's not explicitly in there. However, I think it's probably a good thing to mention that if you're going to help someone up, do not just throw them as high as you can because an accident's probably going to happen. I don't want to see anyone get hurt.
Yeah. I don't have to.
Do themes need to be very long explanations? No, they can be quick, short sentences. As long as A, you tell me what the theme is, and B, you use your details to explain why you thought that was. Can I just write down it was friendship and nothing else?
No.
No, I can't. I have to tell someone, why did you think it was friendship? Why did you think it was working together? Why did you think it was trying to hurt your best friend? Always explain why you make your choices. If you don't explain it to me, I'm going to have no idea why you chose it. I'm just going to think maybe you copied, or you already knew the story. Hartley.
I think we should add more to the part where it says in the end of the story, because we only have one sentence there.
What would you like to add? That's a great idea.
Like,
think I know what you're trying to say. Can I reword it for you?
Yeah.
Tom needed
Do you have to write this?
Brian's help to, what do we want to call this? Succeed? To touch the door frame?
You try
To,
your best, but you can't really succeed.
what do we want to call the last part of this? Tom needed Brian's help to touch the door, top of the door frame. What do you think, Lily? What do you want to call it? The part. What do you got, Harley? Achieve. Which is I-E-V-E. Achieve his goal. Which what was his goal? To touch the top of the door frame. Okay. Let's go over it one more time. Does a theme need to be super long explanation?
No. Yes.
Must you explain your choice of why you chose the theme?
Yes.
Where do you get that from?
The text.
Go ahead, Kylie. The text. And what's important in the text is going to tell you what the theme is. Starts with a D.
Dialogue?
Cam. Description. I'm looking for another word too. That's a good one. Easton. Dialogue.
That's what I just said.
I'll give you a hint. Starts with D. Rhymes with tails.
Detail.
I just basically gave it away, didn't I? Yeah. Details. When we're doing our last event, which I need, Holly, would you grab those two last vanilla envelopes up there, please? Up my bag. We've identified the main themes. We've had some practice with it. We've talked about what it can be. Identifying the theme can be only one word. If you think the theme is friendship, that's fine, but you must use a proper sentence to explain it. And you must support your sentence with
Detail.
a little bit louder.
Detail.
Now, really quickly, let's go over what we expect for this last activity to be, which you have 15 minutes, and this is where the good news comes in at. But let's do the bad news first. The bad news is you're going to be reading this text on your own.
No.
You're going to write your summary and your theme on your own. I want you to use as many details as you can. If you have to flip it over and say, I've used the back page, tell me you've used the back page. I want to see as much as you can get down. You will have about 15 minutes. You cannot work together. If you get it done during this time, in the 15 minutes, which is not a super long story, it's only 2 pages. If you get it done, I will give you one of the remaining of my Jolly Ranchers. I have enough for everyone. There are no blues. I don't think there's any watermelons anymore either, so no one complain if you don't get those. But you can have one of the rest of them. If you do not get it done tomorrow, I may make you stay in during recess time to work on it with me. Do you all understand me?
I'm gonna
Yep. Nod your head if you do. Nate, question.
What is the summary?
Yep. What does the summary have to be?
Summaries take
Of
forever.
every description.
But you said it has to be really long.
Yeah.
In detail.
Did I?
Yeah, you said it has 2 pages.
I want you to
No. I said the text is only 2 pages.
No, but you said
No,
it.
you said it.
You said I want you to write so much.
Oh, no. I just meant write as many details as you can. If you get 3, great. If you get 5, great. If you get 2, great.
Get 1 million. That's great.
I just want to see you do the best you can on it. I'm not expecting any different length from people. Do you understand what I'm saying by that? I just want as much as you can do. So like, if you're scoring baskets, you can go out in basketball and you can make 5 baskets in the first quarter easily. You know you can. Are you only going to go out and shoot for 2? No, you're going to go out and do the best you can, right?
I want to go out for 10.
So, just